In the end, the world did not end with a single sound, but with a long silence. A silence you are about to see. These are not photographs. They are memories, recordings of a future that has not yet happened, captured by something that does not belong to us. A world where the engines have gone quiet and the roads no longer lead anywhere. Where forests become cemeteries and the sky itself remembers what burned. And at the end of all things, Antarctica without ice. A continent of stone and shadow, crowded with thousands of identical black pyramids waiting in the open daylight. Dr. Lena Kovacs. The first time they showed me that sequence, I thought it was a simulation, some worst-case model. Then I realized it was a record, something that had seen this before. Dr. Amir Hassan. People ask me if I am afraid of what I saw inside. They do not understand. I am afraid of what it saw inside me. Dr. Yara Okafor. History is a chorus of warnings. We ignored the human ones. This time, the warning did not come from us. Today, Antarctica is still white. The winds still erase every footprint within hours. At the edge of the ice shelf, a handful of buildings cling to the cold, their lights the only warmth for hundreds of miles. Here, an international team studies the past climate of our planet, drilling ice cores, mapping the bedrock hidden 2 miles below. They came to measure history. Instead, they uncovered something that measures us. It began as a routine survey pass, one more line of data in a winter that blurred into itself.
I remember watching the screen just zoning out. Then the return trace changed. It snapped into this shape. Perfect. Too perfect.
Dr. Lena Kovacs. At first, I thought it was software corruption, a reflection artifact, maybe. We all see ghosts in the data during winter, but this was different. Against the chaotic ridges of buried mountains and valleys, one shape emerged with impossible clarity. 4 identical faces, a flawless base, a peak as sharp as a needle. No erosion, no fracture lines, no sign of time at all.
The moment I saw that image, I thought, this is either a catastrophic error or the most dangerous discovery this station will ever make.
Dr. Lena Kovacs. I ordered a second pass, different angle, different frequency. If it was a glitch, it would vanish. It did not vanish. Scan after scan confirmed it. 2 miles beneath the ice, embedded in bedrock older than humanity, something perfectly geometric waited in the dark. Dr. Yara Okafor. When they sent me the images, I was thousands of miles away. I have spent my life searching for traces of forgotten cultures, lost cities, erased scripts. But this had no signature I recognized. It did not belong in any human story. The station was built to monitor ice loss and sea level rise. It was never meant to be the first visitor to a structure that may predate our species. Yet, in that winter, far from any oversight, its crew became the custodians of a secret the planet had been keeping for millions of years. In that glowing room, they argued about noise and calibration, about funding pressures and scientific caution. Outside, the wind carved new patterns into ancient snow. Below, in unbroken darkness, the pyramid simply waited. None of them yet understood that it was not waiting to be found. It had chosen the moment of its discovery, because for the first time in human history, our world had crossed a line it could no longer ignore. The anomaly did not go away. It sat on their monitors like a question that refused to close. Outside, the temperature fell another few degrees. Inside, the pressure rose. Dr. Lena Kovacs. I called an emergency briefing. We went through every possible mundane explanation first: instrument drift, software bugs, interference from the aurora. You always try to kill the miracle before you accept it. This one survived every attempt.
Protocol says you verify, you escalate, you wait. So we sent everything up the chain to the agencies, the sponsors, anyone who thought they owned a piece of this ice. And then we waited for people thousands of miles away to decide what we should do next.
Antarctica runs on delays. Messages bounce between satellites and offices bathed in daylight, where winter is a line on a budget spreadsheet. Decisions that mean everything to the people here are made by those who will never feel the station walls tremble in a storm. Dr. Amir Hassan. They flew me in on the last weather window before the dark locked down. The brief just said, non-gravitational anomaly, possible temporal artifact. That is the sort of phrasing that ends careers or redefines fields. Sometimes both. Dr. Amir Hassan had spent his life measuring the subtle ways time misbehaves in strong fields and high energies. Here, in the quiet of the polar night, he was asked to point those instruments at solid rock, and at something that should not exist within it. Dr. Lena Kovacs. The choice was simple and impossible at the same time. If we left it untouched, someone else would come, someone less careful. If we drilled, we might trigger. We did not know what. But the only way to transform speculation into knowledge is contact.
I made it very clear. No explosives, minimal penetration, constant monitoring. If anything looked unstable, we stopped. I signed off on the drilling plan with my hand shaking, not from the cold.
In the absence of clear orders from the outside world, the station became its own authority. A narrow access shaft would be bored straight down to the anomaly's upper surface. A needle through 2 miles of ice aimed at a single point the size of a small room. The drilling took days. Steel teeth chewed through ancient ice, laid down before the first human story. Each meter recorded, catalogued, archived. As the bit neared the calculated depth, the station itself began to misbehave.
We started seeing these power dips, not random like something was breathing through the grid. Voltage down, voltage up, regular as a pulse.
Dr. Amir Hassan. The fluctuations lined up with the drill's rotation frequency and with something else, an oscillation we could not trace to any known source. It was as if the ice was answering the machine.
I remember saying, "We shut it down now, or we never do." I was ready to call it, but by then we were less than 20 meters above the target. There is a gravity to proximity. It pulls you past your own rules.
Dr. Lena Kovacs, I told him if the ice wanted to break, it would have done it long before we showed up. It was bravado. I knew it. He knew it. But no one reached for the stop switch. The drill descended those last meters like a countdown. Every sensor fed live data to their screens. Temperature, torque, vibration, depth. The numbers became a language of anticipation, then of alarm.
The resistance just vanished. 1 second the bit was biting hard. The next it felt like we'd punched through glass into open air. Torque dropped to almost nothing.
They had not hit rock. They had broken into a void, a hidden cavern sealed beneath the ice for longer than their species had existed. With the drill withdrawn, they lowered a camera into the shaft. The feed crawled down through walls glistening with meltwater, the image grainy white noise hissing in the audio channel. Then, suddenly, the walls fell away. In the middle of that chamber, untouched by light for uncounted ages, something emerged from the bedrock, the apex of a pyramid, its surface so dark that the camera's sensors struggled to define its edges. Dr. Yara Okafor. I watched the first footage from my office on the other side of the world. I felt the hair rise on my arms. It was not just the geometry, it was the feeling that whatever we were seeing down there was looking back, even through a screen. The drill had not merely found a structure, it had opened a chamber in which light itself seemed unwelcome, a room whose first occupant was a perfect, impossible shadow. The world above remained unaware. Down here, beneath 2 miles of ice, the story of the Black Pyramid was about to begin in earnest.